Hey there team, Tony from Profitable Tradie. Hope you're going well. Now we work with the owners of plumbing, electrical and similar service businesses to help them improve profits, systemize their business and make life and business a whole lot more fun. Now today we're talking about team, and I've had a question along these lines. How do I hardwire hard work into my team? Great question. It's a big topic, and honestly, it's such a big topic, I can't cover it all off in a 10-minute session. I don't think anyone could. But what I am going to do today is talk about what I reckon is the 10% of things that you have to absolutely get right before any of the other stuff actually helps. So that's what we'll do. We'll dig into what I reckon is the thinking around your team that you've got to get right. Otherwise, everything else is really not going to work. So if you're with me, stay tuned because I think this will be massively helpful. Certainly helpful for our members. So we'll dig into it. Key thing, I guess, with your team is if you want money, time, and freedom, you've got to have a great team because your team allows you to multiply your own efforts. It's called leverage, so you can do more work, make more profit. You can buy time back, so you can work on higher level activities if you like in the business, growing the business, and it also gives you time for the other stuff outside business, for your family, for your own health, enjoyment, hobbies, surfing, fishing, whatever you like to do. So really, really important. So if you don't get it right, life is not fun. Obviously, a lot of people get really frustrated with the team, and sometimes you actually feel like giving up because it feels like too hard to work. Key thing here is, and I think this is important, I'll say this, it sounds harsh, but you get the team you deserve. So if it's not working for you, it's not that you deserve a bad team, it's just you haven't learned some things you need to know yet. So it's really our responsibility as a business owner and as a leader to become great at team. Anyway, enough of that. Let's jump into what I call the 4 steps for high team performance. These are absolutely critical. 4 steps is what we're going to cover today. First thing, which is massively important, you have to have clarity on success. What does that actually mean? Well, most problems happen because your employees aren't clear on what success looks like. That you have an idea of success in your mind, but they don't share that idea. And for them to share that idea, this stuff absolutely has to be written down. It's got to be written, so it's clear what it is. And what do I mean by that? Look, if you just tell someone to fill in their job card, that's fine, but actually you've got to specify exactly what information you need, when it needs to be filled in, show them how it needs to be filled in so it's crystal clear and everyone can have no misunderstanding about what's expected. Got to be written down. Hugely, hugely important. Because most problems are you expected them to understand, they thought they understood, but actually you're speaking it, cross purposes, as it were. Like you're thinking about different things. Success is not clear. Well, another way to put it is if you want delegation to work, you've got to define what done means. So massively important. How do you do that? Hey, there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go into this too much, but there's a bunch of things that you need to have in your business. You need good job descriptions. We'll call them JDs. You need core values. So you need to describe, what are the values of the business. You need clear KPIs, so like key performance indicators. You want rules of the game. So that outlines specifically how things are done in your business. So for instance, a small example might be we only turn on the radio on site if we've asked the client or the other contractors if we want to do that. It might define things like you're expected to turn up 5 minutes before you kick off. Might define things about you're expected to have freshly laundered uniform on every day. So just be really critical clear on what the expectations are. You're expected to give 2 weeks notice if you want annual leave, or put your request in 2 weeks beforehand. Get everything crystal clear so everyone knows how things are supposed to go. That's the first thing. We've got to have clarity on success. Next thing is kind of similar, but not quite. It's clarity. You'll notice clarity is important in all of this on how. So we've got to make it clear how we want things to be done. So that is really simply written systems and processes. Well, they might be videoed as the same, that's fine as well. So that's things like checklists, have you got a quality assurance checklist for how you want a job, an underfall to be laid, or whatever it is. You have scripts. So example of that might be, hey, you've got an inquiry script. This is how we want their phone to be answered. It's scripted out. It's really crystal clear. And you might have a bunch of SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. It's like operations manual. So this is how everything's done, written it down. Now, you may not get that for everything, but for the most important, the stuff that gets done 80% of the time, you want clarity on how. Massively important. So now we know what's expected. Now we know how we're supposed to do it. Next step, really simply, is clear accountability. So accountability, try and spell that right, it's not my best thing. And that means, really simply, people know what's expected of them, what success looks like, they know how they're supposed to do it. You've got to check that they're actually doing it that way. And not in a kind of like a big bad boss man or a dictator, but you're checking in, you're providing accountability so people know that they're not going to, they know that you're going to check and they know they need to actually do things the way that they're supposed to. So that's review against success criteria, if you like. So we've actually got a review against success criteria. Now, we all need that. As owners, we need that. Everyone needs accountability because we all tend to drift off a bit if we don't have it. So that's massively important. Lastly, and this is huge, is clear feedback. So we've actually, once we've got, people know what's expected, how it's supposed to be done, we are checking that, then we need to give feedback. That's really, really important. So feedback comes in many forms. It's obviously praise. I think it's really important to praise people when things go well. It's correction when things don't. It's training. And consequences as well. So, and coaching is a huge thing we should put in here because becoming a coach leader is massively important. And obviously that then just feeds back into, sometimes you might need to change the success criteria a bit as well. With the clear feedback, there's a few things you can do there. So that's, we suggest to our members that they have a 20-minute coaching session with their key team members at least every month. And that's an opportunity to give them feedback on an ongoing basis. Then you have performance appraisals, obviously, at least every 6 months. A performance review, which is a more formal thing. But the 20 is designed to give them some feedback on a sort of real-time basis. So if you've got a larger team, that would be with your estimator, your pricing manager, your quantity surveyor, your operations manager, maybe your marketing manager, your sales team, you would have a weekly 20-minute session. If you've got tradespeople or technicians or craftspeople out in the field, that might be once a month with their direct report. But you actually create an environment where you can review things on an ongoing basis. And all of this does a couple of things. One thing really. Let's give it a green. If we sort of put that around the outside, what we get when we start doing this is we're actually starting to build a culture of performance. And that's what we want. So they're crystal clear on success, crystal clear on how to do it, clear accountability. They know that there's a check-in, and we're giving clear feedback, praise, correction, training, consequences, having a 20-minute coaching session or a performance review. And we've got our team meeting structures running as well. So this is brilliant. One thing that I need to mention here, if you do not get this part right, it won't matter. You've got to hire A players. Now, if you don't hire A players, this won't work because they just won't be coming up to snuff. Or if you do hire B or C players, you'll find that when you get to the accountability and the feedback area, you're obviously going to have to take some corrective action pretty quickly. And if they can't measure up, they need to be. You need to free up their future, kind of whiz them on, because that'll just make life hard for you and for everyone in the business. So that's really the key thinking around how to build a great hard-working team. It takes a lot of work. There's a lot to it, but you've got to understand those 4 key pillars. Those 4 key pillars are what puts it all together. Make sure your team is absolutely clear on what success means. Write it down, take the time, get your systems in place, particularly for the key stuff that happens often. Have accountability, check in really regularly, make sure they're meeting the standards, and then give feedback, praise, consequences, coaching, and training. Now, I hope you found this helpful. If you have and you want some more help, hey, just message me. We can organise a quick chat, 15-minute chat with one of our team, see if or how we can help you some more. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Love to have a discussion about this one because this is absolutely critical to success. Your team is your ticket to profitability and freedom, and it really takes you putting some effort in there.